Hello mirrors. So today's pick a card is going to be what are your best or strongest attributes. It could also be attributes that haven't self-actualized yet, because oftentimes if we go through maybe childhood trauma or that kind of thing, we may not actually know what our strongest and best attributes are. So this reading might also make you aware of that kind of information. If you would like to go straight to the reading, you can go down below into the description box or the comments and go directly to whatever pile or piles that you feel resonant towards. But I want to go ahead and show you what each pile is. Pile 1 is this, I don't know, I got this at Five Below. It's just a pretty little crystal here. The second one is an Opalite elephant. The third one is the Leopard Jasper. And then the fourth one is this beautiful Selenite wand. So go directly there if you would not like to listen to my introductory remarks. If you're new or you're just interested in hearing this little spiel again, my channel is specifically directed towards law of attraction. My readings are meant to empower and inspire you to alter your mind, to alter your actions, to alter your belief systems, or to confirm the belief systems, mindset, etc. that you already have in terms of manifesting. I truly believe you can manifest anything that you want, either internally or externally. But you have to be in the vibration of receiving that thing, so that manifestation. So this can be explained by there being infinite realities, and your consciousness will inhabit the reality that is on that vibration. So a lot of times people come to tarot readings to find out, is my boyfriend cheating on me? Does he love me? What is the future of this relationship? And while these things can be very beneficial in order to see where your current mindset is and what you're currently working towards manifesting, it is not fate, okay? It is not objective truth, because there is no objective reality except for the present, okay? So there's so much more to this, and I would love to do some videos specifically talking about each of these things, but there are tons of great teachers on YouTube that have discussed law of attraction in much better detail, bigger detail, extreme detail, that you can check out yourself if you're interested. And I do have a recommended videos playlist that describes some of these nuances of creating your own reality. But I did just want to throw that out there so that my readings can make a little bit more sense and why they may differ. A lot of times I read energies, so this is a little bit different as we are talking about attributes. So understand that you have manifested whatever I say. You're in a reality where what you pick is meant for you, you know, in one way or another. But with that being said, I do want to go ahead and get started. If you're interested in a private reading, the information is in the description box, and go ahead and add me on Twitter. But that's all I'm going to say as far as the introduction goes. Let's get started with pile number 1. Hello, pile number 1. Let's look at what your best attributes are. Where should I put this? Let's put this right here just for this reading. Let's see. Oops. We have the Seven of Cups in the reverse. We have the first chakra, which is the root chakra, and I will be reading this in a second once I go over it. We have attachment. We have this little card that says, and where does the power come from? It comes from within. We have a lost land, soul memories, and gifts. You've done this before. And then we have the Ten of Pentacles in the reverse and the Two of Pentacles also in the reverse. Interesting. Okay, so what are your best attributes? I'm going to take this one by one, but we will see how they connect as I start to talk about each thing here. We have the Seven of Cups in the reverse. So the Seven of Cups is about all these different various decisions. It may be that you are in a really good energy of being able to make decisions, and not just make, good decisions, but make decisions that really vibrate towards your higher self, towards what you're here to attain. A really good attribute that you may have is that you're able to make those commitments, is what I'm hearing. Another thing that you may have a really good ability to do is to understand when you aren't happy, when you're not fulfilled. You may be really motivated towards going after that thing that you want. You may be kind of one-tracked, which, some people might consider this negative. I mean, if it is like completely one-tracked all the time, yeah, of course that's not good, but it's more like a zoning in on a goal. I feel like this group is really good at figuring out what they want and going for it. That is like the biggest thing I'm getting from that. Even with attachment, I know that is considered negative, but I think that this card came out specifically to say that whenever you aren't really happy, when you're not meeting your needs, and when you want something and you're really willing to go after it, zone in on it, especially with this Two of Pentacles in the reverse, you're willing to put aside things that are not necessary to go towards your goal. If you know much about Myers-Briggs, you may be a J personality rather than a P, judging instead of perceiving. That just came to mind for some of you. Let's read what this first chakra says. Building a strong foundation. I create stability and security by adequately providing myself with the basic needs of a healthy life, such as shelter, food, water, and clothing. I use my creativity to build a strong foundation, as this is an essential key to my survival and growth. The more inner and outer stability I have, the more grounded and fulfilling my life will become. I respect myself and take care of my physical body by nurturing it and nourishing it. My body tells me what it needs. So here with this building a strong foundation. So not only do you know what you want and you have a desire to go after it, and you're very committed, which is why I think this attachment is here. It really feels like you're really motivated to create that foundation so it's long lasting. It's not something that is you don't want to build something on shaky foundation, and that's because you're so sure of what you want. Again, like I said at the beginning of this reading, if you don't feel like this applies to you, this is saying that this lies within your blueprint, that you are able to have this quality, what I'm speaking of, but you need to go within, which is why this card came up. Where does the power come from? It comes from within. So like I said, if this doesn't apply to you, you feel like, wow, that sounds like the opposite of me. I never know what I want. I'm constantly going to a million different places in my head. I can't make up my mind. The universe is saying this is totally within you, and this is something that is important for you to master in this lifetime, but you have to go within. And this attachment for some of you guys might even be a warning that part of why this may be difficult is because you're too attached, which seems counterintuitive when we're talking about a goal. The attachment should be, and attachment's not a good word, the commitment should be towards consistent movement forward, and creating that internal space of having it, that you can attain this goal. You can have exactly what you want, but you have to know that this power comes from within. So the universe is really telling you that you're really good at creating the manifestation internally. You may have a lot of feminine energy, I'm hearing. But again, if this does not apply to you, this is telling you this is actually a part of your soul plan. This is actually part of what you're meant to do. Soul memories and gifts. You've done this before, and you're here to remember that. You're here to remember this aspect of yourself that is able to go forward with what they want with full commitment, sincerity, truthfulness, excitement, where you're all on board completely. And for some of you guys, you may be pretty talented at remembering past lives, and using your soul gifts in order to create this life that you want, going towards things that you may not have in the 3D, but you're totally ready to commit to and move forward in the 3D. So I know this was short. I'm meaning to do these to be short and sweet. So that's all I have for you guys. If you feel drawn to another pile, go check that out as well. If you're interested in a private reading, again, the information is in the description box. And please like, comment, subscribe. Also hit the notification bell to let you know when I post new videos. Check out my timeless playlist for pick a cards because I'm really trying to get traction on these. I really enjoy doing pick a cards, but for some reason my zodiac readings get way more views. I love doing both of them, but this is so exciting for me. I love turning over the cards and seeing the synchronicities, but that's it, guys. I love you. Hello, group 2. Let's see what your best attributes are, what your strongest attributes are, or what the universe is saying you have the ability towards, okay? We have the King of Cups in the reverse. We have the 5th chakra, which is the 3rd chakra, setting boundaries, and I will read that here in a little bit. Oh, we have 7th chakra. Wow, okay. Sorry, I'm not reading reversals on these. When you meet your soulmate, you will feel calm, no anxiety, no agitation. Loosen your grip, coping mechanisms, density, addiction, let God in. And then the Queen of Cups in the reverse. Wow. And the Page of Swords. Okay, so first of all, this is so interesting. We have the Queen and the King of Cups in the reverse. When you meet your soulmate, you'll feel calm, no anxiety, no agitation. So you know the right people for you. Okay, so I have this feeling that so many of you that are listening are like, no, absolutely not. I have no idea. I am the worst at picking out good partners. And that may not apply to all of you, but I'm hearing in my head that a lot of you are like, this is absolutely not true. This is more of a future thing. This is something you're going to grow into over time, okay? This is not something that you come into this world and you pick perfect partners and all of that fun stuff. You may actually go through quite the opposite. So this often happens with our greatest strengths. So, for example, if somebody's sole destination might be to be a world-class athlete. Okay, maybe that's going a little far, but maybe to have a very strong, healthy body. They may actually grow up obese or very underweight, very unhealthy, may have a lot of health problems. Someone that is destined to become a great orator, a great speaker, may have huge fears of public speaking, may have speech impediments, problems like that. Someone who is meant to have a very loving, fulfilling relationship might have a really messed up childhood, okay? So just because you may not see this as a strength, this is talking about this is your future. This is something that is here for you. That's why they came up in the reverse. These King and Queen of Cups are amazing, beautiful counterparts. They love each other deeply. They resonate with each other. They respect each other. They're very emotionally intelligent, emotionally available. So again, you might have actually experienced the opposite. But this is saying that one of your best attributes is that you're going to go through all of this, whether or not this is something you're going through now or you've gone through in the past, and you're going to learn from it. Then you're going to really understand what your soulmate is. It's going to feel right to you. It's not going to be this desperation, okay? But let's go a little bit further, because then we have another little synchronicity of chakra cards coming out. These are chakra wisdom cards. Of course, I would pull a chakra card here, but the fact that I pulled another chakra card and the energy card means that these are inexplicably connected, okay? So we have setting boundaries. So let's read this. I teach others how to love and respect me by how I love and respect myself. My integrity is supported when I express my thoughts and feelings. I'm aware of excessively wanting to please others. I will maintain and grow my personal power by saying yes when I mean yes and saying no when I mean no, or when I want to say no. I speak up for myself and I set boundaries regarding other people's behaviors. I do this by asking for what I do want, such as respect, patience, tolerance, and support, rather than telling them what I don't want. Okay, so This also links up with the Page of Swords, and it also links up with this loosen your grip, coping mechanisms, density, addiction, let God in. But let's explain these 4 cards together, and they also do tie beautifully into this as well. So the 5th chakra and your 7th chakra, which is your crown chakra, your connection to the divine, they're connected. So you really have an ability to speak from a higher place. Again, this may be something you learn later on in life. This may not be an attribute you have naturally. In fact, I don't think that most people do have this naturally unless they were raised in a very healthy household, which doesn't tend to happen even with well-meaning parents, okay? With Page of Swords, this is about being able to hold your tongue. So a really great attribute you either have now or you're developing is being able to know the right things to say, know when to speak up, and know when to speak with love. And this is really going to help you with this counterpart. I'm hearing twin flame. Some of you guys are definitely dealing with a twin flame situation or will be in the future. But it's going to help you become very emotionally mature to say things that you mean, say things with love, say things from a place of higher awareness, of higher vibration, and setting boundaries. Because we have the addiction, loosen your grip, coping mechanisms, letting God in. This is about boundaries within yourself. So you have a great trait of being able to set boundaries and speak up for yourself. And you also have this ability to create that within yourself, to create healthy boundaries within yourself. When you can do that, it'll be really easy to manifest outwardly. Like, this is something I'm working on. I'm working on creating some really good habits. I recommend a book called Atomic Habits by somebody Clear, James Clear, I believe. And it talks about just creating habits and very small habits over time and why that it's important in a very real, tangible way. This kind of thing, creating habits, letting go of things that no longer serve you, getting out of addictions, those are creating boundaries within yourself. And it makes it so easy when you do that to let go of things that don't serve you in other ways. Like, for example, I've been fasting. I've been learning how to fast, and I've always had issues with food, and just because many of us do, right? It's just a big part of society and of culture, especially American culture, that food is just a source of happiness and communion with people and all of that. So I've had that idea. So once I started fasting, I started noticing all these links I have towards food and towards emotional eating or boredom eating, that kind of thing. But because I've been working on fasting, it's made it really easy to cut off the addictions in other ways. I don't want to say really easy. It's totally challenging, but it makes me more hyper aware. This is the kind of energy I'm getting with this. You're going to be either now or in the future hyper aware of how you treat yourself affects how people show up to you, how you manifest others, and what you put up with, what you settle with. So overall, your best attribute, I asked for multiple ones. I mean, there is very many things here, but the overall is the ability to know what's right for you in terms of relationships, especially romantic relationships. This was really cool. I love how all of this played out, but that's it. I know it was kind of short and sweet. If you were drawn to any other piles, check those out. Please like, comment, and hit subscribe. Also, if you want to hit the notification bell, it'll let you know when I post new videos. Private reading information is down below. Check out my other pick-a-cards in the Timeless playlist. But that is it, guys. I love you. Hello, Pile 3. Let's check out your best attributes, or your strongest attributes, or ones that you will develop within this lifetime. We have the Devil. Interesting, coming out right away. We have the first chakra, base chakra, responsibility. I will read that here in a little bit. Third chakra. Wow. Okay. So pile 2 also had 2 chakra cards, and now you guys do. So that's really cool. These 2 will be linked, but I will go into that. Okay. The more love and care you give yourself, the more love you have to give others. Wait, it is not time yet. Things are being woven. the Ace of Swords in the reverse, and the Seven of Swords. Okay, so you guys, just right off the bat, I'm going to break it down, but you guys are either you have gone through a lot in life, or you are in the process of shedding your skin, of getting out of addictions. Some of you guys, I'm feeling drug, sex addictions, money addictions, like financial addictions, addictions to love, addictions to things that are not good for you, okay? But something that is an amazing attribute is either you're doing this now or you will do in the future, but you're going to take deep responsibility for what you've done to yourself, maybe what you've done to others, guys. Ooh, I got really emotional randomly. I'm picking up on some of you guys' energy. This is an extremely intense pile if you chose this one. Wow. Very, very powerful. I can't explain just the wave of emotions I just got. Okay, let's read this. First chakra, base chakra, the root chakra, responsibility. I plant myself on solid ground by consistently taking responsibility and having personal accountability for all that I do. I allow others to depend on me being responsible. My actions speak louder than my words. I rise above excesses and overindulgences as I forgive myself for my past indiscretions. Wow, guys, I didn't even read this card yet. And that totally just, oh my gosh, with the devil, yes, Seven of Swords, wow, okay. I know I could not have acted in a more evolved way than I was able to at the time. Let me go ahead and read that again because I think some of you guys will need to hear this. I know I could not have acted in a more evolved way than I was able to at the time. One thing I'm hearing is you guys need forgiveness. I know this is a reading for best attributes, but one of an attribute you may struggle with is the forgiveness, is not feeling like you're deserving. But either you're doing this now or you are moving into this part of your life where you are going to shed your old skin like a snake and you're going to become renewed and you're going to forgive yourself for your past. I do want to talk about how these link up in a second, but I'm really drawn to this. So we have Ace of Swords in the reverse, and we have the Seven of Swords. The Seven of Swords is about deception. In this case, it feels like self-deception. Maybe for a long time you're telling yourself that what you're doing, like maybe the drugs, maybe being in a relationship, kind of addicted to somebody who is mistreating you, whatever it is. Whatever it is, it's going to be different for everybody listening. You have, it's like, these are really connected, and I'm trying to really come to terms with this. Give me a second. So the Ace of Swords is about clarity, often it is at least, and with it in the reverse, especially with the Seven of Swords, your best attribute, like I said, is I keep getting the shedding the old skin, being renewed, moving forward, getting out of the addictions that you have, and taking responsibility. And then there is a growth process to the third chakra. Now, the third chakra is really interesting. It's the solar plexus. So this has to do with your identity and your inner power, your inner strength. It's your center. It's literally your center. It keeps all the other chakras flowing up and down. So it really especially helps your heart chakra and your sacral chakra, your chakra of creation. So your responsibility, when you take responsibility, again, whether you're at this point in your life or it is something that is in the future for you, that you have the blueprint, you have the ability to attain, you start to become very aware of yourself and become very powerful. It's very much the opposite energy that you move into maybe at the beginning of your life or through previously, I should say, because it could be at any time in your life. You may also go through many iterations of this, where you go through many addictions and shed the addiction, learn more, take responsibility, get out of this deception, and become clear on what you want, who you are. And I'm getting the sense of pride, of overwhelming pride of yourself, okay? And we have the more loving care you give yourself, the more love you have to give to others. So your ability to love others in a way is so much more strengthened by this. I'm getting this image of like colored glass shattering and then bringing it together kind of in like stained glass, and the light shining through in it and being even more beautiful. You are more beautiful because of what you've gone through, and you will become more beautiful and more giving, more loving, more authentic, more real, more empathetic, because who can empathize better than somebody who's been there? So that's what I'm really feeling from this. We have wait. It's not time yet. Things are being woven. So there's a few messages here. This may say that if you totally feel like in the beginning of this reading and you don't feel like you relate much to the responsibility, third chakra, all that stuff, shedding the skin, this is saying it's not time for you to manifest this yet. It's happening though. It could be that that's the message for some of you guys, and it could be that as you go through this process and you shed your skin and you shed your addictions, you shed the negative processes that you've been through, and you take responsibility and grow from it, then you're able to identify the right timing, and you're able to be patient because you've kind of been through hell and back. So it really helps you develop this attribute of patience, of knowing and believing in divine timing, of trusting that things are weaving together, and you're really centered. You're really strong and powerful in your own identity and who you are, and so you don't have to force things to happen so fast. And yes, okay, so with addictions are about instant gratification, right? So if someone were to say like alcohol, okay, the one that is addicted, of course it's a spectrum, but the people that are the most addicted are the ones who cannot wait, who need that thing now. Someone who drinks once a month, or who maybe even drinks more often than that, but if somebody says that, you know, plans are canceled and it happens a lot and they aren't able to get that substance, they're not controlled by it, they're not overwhelmed so that they can't have that item at that point. Same thing with, say, food, okay? Because some people have food addictions, they need food right then and there, and they have major mental distress, maybe even physical distress when they don't have this thing. So this is like an overcoming of addiction. You may even get to go back to maybe something you had an addiction to in the past, and I'm not talking about like the hard stuff. I'm talking about, say, you were addicted to sugar and then you cut it out of your life because you know that abstinence was the best idea for you, but then you can go back and learn when indulging in sweets is really healthiest for you and your soul. So that's really what I'm hearing. You're able to stave off these cravings, and maybe even for some things be able to enjoy them in a more healthy manner. Okay, so this was really intense, guys. I know it was short and sweet, but if you're interested in looking at another pile, go check it out. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I would love to know your thoughts on this reading, especially this pile was the most intense so far. Maybe pile 4 might have me surprised too. Lots of emotional responses from me. But that is it, guys. I love you. Hello, pile 4. Let's look at your best attributes, your strongest attributes. This could also be something that you will manifest in the future. You may actually feel the opposite. We'll see. We've had really interesting things come out the last 3 piles. 4 of Pentacles. The third chakra, solar plexus. So I will read this here in a second. We have the World. We have your dreams can come true if you have the courage to pursue them. We have water your garden, nourishment, body care, tenderness, rest. The 5 of Swords in the reverse, and the Empress in the reverse. Okay, the very first message I'm getting right away is that you guys are really good at manifesting. Again, you may not feel this way yet, but with the World coming out as the center of this reading, the World is about fulfillment. It's about actually, and really especially from this image, it's like creating heaven on earth. And whether or not you're doing this at this point, you have the ability to, and one day you're going to look back and understand that was a really big power that you have. Power, I want to say power move for some reason. So let's start off with the Four of Pentacles. This is holding on. This is stability. It's value. It's an understanding of your worth. It could be negative in some senses when we become overly attached to maybe physical items. I do see the Empress in the reverse, and these are kind of like a dichotomy here. Something that I explained in the other piles is oftentimes our best attributes and what's meant for us, what's meant in our blueprint, we can actually end up going through the opposite. So you may be in this Empress in the reverse, maybe not understanding your value yet, but your future is that you are meant to understand your value, be a valuable person, and understand what you have to offer the world. I gave an example. Well, I gave several examples, but for example, maybe somebody who is destined to become a very physically fit person, like that's in their blueprint, may grow up obese or a very underweight, that kind of thing, and it may be their destiny to shed pounds, be super strong, whatever. That's kind of an example. Or maybe somebody who's meant to be a CEO might fight for the first 30 years of their life being in basic retail jobs, having trouble moving up. Like, you're here to manifest like so much more than what you think, and you may kind of be stuck, I'm hearing, with the Empress and kind of the stuck energy of the Four of Pentacles. But your best attribute is that you're going to overcome, and that seems to be the running theme through all four of these piles in some way, is an overcoming, which is beautiful. It's nice to see that shown in every reading, because that is kind of the best attribute that we all have as conscious manifestors, as being created in God's image. Is we're put here with this illusion that we are powerless, that we're these little meager sinners that can't do much, and then we're meant to overcome everything and heal everything and create heaven on earth. If you really believe in ascension and all of that, I'm being quite literal and quite serious about this. So I really feel like you're going to overcome things that you never thought possible. We have third chakra, solar plexus, oneness and unity. Let's go ahead and read this. And the oneness and unity is giving me world vibes as well. I accept the oneness of all life, and I know I am one with all others on this journey. I support them and let them support me. I am brave and not afraid to ask for assistance. I allow myself to empathize and sympathize with others and choose to see the love in all around me. I see everything as part of my own life, and I accept others for who they are. I find common ground with others rather than differences, as this brings harmony into my life and into theirs. Wow. So I'm actually getting a really strong sense of empathy from this group. Pile number 4, you have a ton of empathy. Again, you may not feel this way. You may have shut it off, because when we, like, for example, I'm an empath, and I've struggled a lot with my empathic abilities, not because I'm not an empath, because I'm disconnected, but because we create that disconnection, that distance, because it's so painful to feel. But you're going to get a hold of this throughout your life. That's what solar plexus is about, that identity, about that strength, that inner core that holds you up. Pile 3 also had solar plexus, so if you relate specifically to that message, check out pile 3. Did I just say pile 4? And I think that's why 5 of Swords came out here in the reverse too. 5 of Swords is a winning at all costs, saying things that may hurt other people, doing things that put other people at risk. It's just kind of a selfish energy. With it in the reverse, this is this ability to connect with other people, to empathize with other people, to love other people, and to understand their plights, whether or not you've been through something similar or not. And I also think that's why the World came out. It's kind of the energy of relating to everybody in the world. Again, if you're not in this place in your life, you will get there. Like I'm really picking up on, I see everything as part of my own life, and I accept others for who they are, which is beautiful. And this is why I said you guys are big manifestors, because we have the world, and then we have your dreams can come true if you have the courage to pursue them. So you're definitely a big manifester in this pile, and you're going to come to understand that your love for others and that ability to see yourself in people helps you manifest even deeper. So this makes a lot of sense to me, because this is something that I personally work on myself. I used to be a very Five of Swords person, where I would say things because I was very hurt. My pain was a lot stronger than your average person. I was had BPD, borderline personality disorder, which increases the strength of emotions, good and bad. I personally think borderline personality disorder is a trauma PTSD response from an empath. Okay, so that's basically where I was at. But with learning how to manifest, I've overcome a lot of this, very much of it. I very rarely say anything that is harmful to someone, because I know it's a reflection of me and I don't want to hurt anybody anymore. I want to understand and empathize. This is the energy I'm getting from you guys. And it makes it easier to manifest, because you're seeing people as reflections of you. You're seeing them as part of yourself. You don't want to hurt other people. You want to understand, and in the understanding you become much stronger. You become more courageous. You become more understanding, empathetic, and able to see where you can manifest. And there's also a ton of self-care coming in from this pile. Water your gardens, nourishment, body care, tenderness, rest. So to me, this also speaks of one of your highest abilities, one of your best attributes, is that when you love yourself, you are able to see it manifested in the world around you. When you take care of yourself, you are able to see other people taking care of themselves, see other people act in ways that are healthy, because you're such a manifestor and so connected to that other part of you in them. Okay, that's like the main message I'm really getting, is this ability to care for others, to empathize, and how that directly affects your manifestational abilities as being your very best attribute. Again, if you don't necessarily relate to this, this is part of your blueprint, and you can claim this and work towards it. But it does take kind of letting go of the old identity, letting go of the ego, letting go of the pain that you feel and blaming others, and working towards this healing. I would recommend dialectical behavioral therapy. It's super amazing for everybody. It has so many great benefits. If you're interested, you can go to a licensed therapist, which I would recommend if you have that ability, or you can look online. There's tons of really great resources, YouTube videos, and I personally did a workbook that just completely shifted my life, so I would recommend it here. I think it's a really great tool for empaths, especially that have been through trauma. But with that being said, that's really the main information I'm picking up from this group. So if you're interested in any of the other piles, check them out as well. If you would like a private reading, again, the information is in the description box. Please like, comment, subscribe on this video. I would love to hear some feedback. I always love hearing from you guys. And that's it, guys. I love you.